the purpose is actually the living your values day to day and showing up authentically, showing up with energy, showing up for what you care about, being willing to stand up for what you believe in.
Hello and welcome to Scholarship Station, your platform to explore the scholarship field. I'm your host, Erika Orsulak from Students First Consulting. And today I'm delighted to be joined by someone I have known ever since she started working in our industry over a decade ago. That's why I took such great joy in learning that Lindie Gardner, our guest today, the program director at WWIN, was recently named winner of NSPA's prestigious Ann Radcliffe Award for individual contributions to her organization and the field. Lindie and I have a lot to talk about. But first, Scholarship Station is a free service connecting members of the scholarship world to resources and ideas about how we can all best serve students. If you have a topic or a particular issue you'd like to hear discussed, let us know in the comments below. On screen, you'll see my contact info as well as all of our handles in all of the places. Lindie, I am so happy that you're here with me today.
Yeah, thank you for inviting me. This is such a great pleasure.
It is very well deserved because in October, the National Scholarship Providers Association had its annual conference, including its award dinner, at which you were named the winner of the Ann Radcliffe Award, which is a huge honor for leadership in the field. So congratulations. I'm so happy for you. I might tear up like I did when I found out.
Thank you. Thank you. It was a real surprise and such a joy.
Well, I'm going to brag about you a little bit. So here's some of what NSPA and others said about you in your nomination and in receipt of the award. Lindie has been a leader in focusing on access and equity in the development of WWIN's program, from outreach and application through to our alumni's experience. She's moved our application process from one that relies on trauma bearing by applicants to a trauma-informed asset framing approach. Lindie always considers the full life experiences of scholars and the barriers they face along the way to their goals. She is a trusted advisor, knowledgeable resource, and partner in helping them problem solve and persevere to complete their degrees, despite sometimes exceptionally complicated personal situations. She brings the expertise and the heart of a social worker to her job, and it makes a difference. I'm getting goosebumps. I hope you are too. I know that is exactly how you are as the director of the program and with the scholars you work with. So, I've seen it before and many others have seen it too. So I hope you know how well deserved the award is for you.
Thank you. It's funny when you do something for so many years, you don't always think about it that way. It is always my goal to think of the scholars as humans first and all of the complicated things they're going through in life as people, and to also be human with them. So it's not about, rules or deadlines or anything like that. It's not about traditional academic merit. Our scholars have been through a lot and are going through a lot, and so if I can just be there with them and hear what they're going through, and that's how we build that long-term connection with them. But really I'm just incredibly grateful to be the person on our team with our program coordinator, Juliet, who get to know them individually and get to hear their stories and be there for them.
Lindie, let's talk about WWIN. I am very familiar with it. I worked there for many years. That's where we met. But take a moment to kind of zoom out, tell everyone about the work that WWIN is doing and how you're serving women in Washington State.
Yeah, WWIN supports women in Washington State with their undergraduate degrees up to a first bachelor's. So we have 150 scholars each year all across the state of Washington, about 40 to 50 different schools. They're all studying different things, but everyone's pursuing that undergrad degree.
I will never forget some of the stories of WWIN scholars. I mean, I know you have many more, but stories like single moms trying to change their lives, their children's lives, homeless students living out of their cars, and then how that consistent, sustained support really helped to transform things for them, how they were able to get all the way through to graduation and attain those meaningful family sustaining jobs and wages that really just changed their trajectories forever. It's an incredible program, and you've led the charge on some of those functions, like that long-term support for every scholar, those wraparound supports. I mean, you've really been instrumental in taking it to that very next level.
Over 70% of our scholars are first-generation college students, and about half of them are parents while they're in school. So
Wow.
they're facing a lot. Also, more than half of them are what's called non-traditional students, so they're age 25 or older. But I have to give kudos to you, because before your time at WWIN, it was a 1-year education grant, and you really had the vision to know that that's not the type of support that they need. They really need renewable, ongoing support through to graduation. So it was kind of perfect timing that when I came on in the fall of 2014, you were just launching this Renewable Star Scholarship program with only 8 scholars.
Well, we made a good team.
Yes, absolutely.
We really see each other as kind of peer mentors. We learn things from each other every time we connect. What can you share about mentorship in general, kind of both sides of the role?
Yeah, I would completely agree that you and I have had that sort of back and forth relationship over these years, which I appreciate so much.
Yeah, me
And
too.
it can be really valuable to have a mentor in your field of study. We realize that's distinct from what career coaching is, because they typically aren't familiar with your field of study, but they know coaching techniques. So that's actually something that we advise scholars and alumni on when they start that program. We set expectations about what coaching is and isn't, and we say, but it can also be helpful to have a mentor in your field of study. And though we don't have a formal mentorship program at WWIN, one way that they're able to do that is they can look through the networking directory in our online networking community, WWIN Connect, and they can filter for things like who is in my industry or who's in my area and willing to meet up for coffee or introduce me to industry connections. And so we've heard some incredible stories from our alumni about them taking advantage of that, messaging people on WWIN Connect, and then having an ongoing long-term professional relationship with them where they can really learn more about future careers that they might be interested in or companies they may want to apply to someday. So I think that that's a really valuable part of the experience as well.
Thank you for joining us at Scholarship Station. If you find this episode useful, inspiring, helpful, or motivational, please subscribe, like, and maybe even leave us a review. We love having you with us. I'm Erika Orsulak, the host of Scholarship Station from Students First Consulting, and I'm joined today by Lindie Gardner from WWIN. Lindie is the program director at WWIN, and she recently won NSPA's Ann Radcliffe Award for individual contributions to her organization and the field. Lindie, something I find myself doing a lot more than I ever thought I would, and I think it's a good thing, is saying to everyone from clients, colleagues, people in our industry, I mean, even, people in my personal network, why are we doing what we're doing? And I think what I mean by that is, what's our North Star? What's the principal reason for doing this? And what do we want to make possible? Knowing that and keeping in mind all the time is so helpful. I mean, not just in terms of staying focused, but also in terms of decision making, whether that's big picture or day to day, you're setting priorities, defining goals, all of that. And so for you, I was hoping to get your why. Why are you doing what you're doing?
Yeah, I think it has evolved over time. To be honest, I didn't step into the scholarship space on purpose. I got a part-time job as an admin assistant at NSPA back when they had a small office in Boulder, Colorado. I was fresh out of my undergrad. But when I wanted to move to Washington, I looked at their member organizations and the job board, and I saw the posting at WWIN for program coordinator. And so 11 years ago, here's me at WWIN, moving to Washington and starting to do scholarships.
With your car and your dog.
With my car and my dog. But I think that over the years, what I've seen is that I'm passionate about a lot of things in the world, and I can't possibly do all of it. But watching these women who all have these completely different goals for their career and for helping their communities in different ways makes me see that this is actually how we do it. Having women who are passionate about nursing and passionate about teaching and passionate about becoming doctors or becoming social workers. I will also have to mention that, yes, when they come back years later and they specifically say WWIN helped, but my relationship with Lindie was also really important and memorable, it shocks me every time, to be honest, because I'm just answering emails and answering phone calls and saying things like, I believe in you, like, yeah, of course, like, we trust whatever decision you've made for yourself. We just had our annual fundraiser the other night as of this recording, and one of our alumni, Crystal, was our speaker, and I know her quite well. I've met her at in-person events before, and when she was giving her speech, the part of it that made her tear up was talking about her relationship with me, which of course got me crying, but it's just so special and moving. And I remember a talk that I heard at NSPA conference a couple years ago where they were talking about us being lighthouses for students.
Yes.
And at first I thought, that's not me. Like that, certainly that's some people in this industry, but I'm just doing my job. And I think I'm starting to believe that and feel that a lot more, that it is a rippling effect of just showing up for people as a human and listening and believing them, trusting them, building that trust. It's what a joy to get to do that every day as my job. So that's why I'm still here.
How do you pump yourself up to keep at it, to keep up that energy and enthusiasm to keep growing and changing in ways for the better?
I mean, resilience is a big part of what we talk about at WWIN. It's something we ask on the application, what does resilience mean to you? And when I read the application responses about what resilience means to these hundreds of different women, they often end up sharing, completely different situations about something they faced that was challenging and the ways that they decided to keep moving forward and push through that. And it's endlessly inspiring. I don't know how you could read those responses every year and not feel motivated by that and driven by that of, this is how we keep going and how we support each other for the long term is, people having their down times at different times and us uplifting each other as we can. And something I've been reflecting on a lot lately and that I've been talking about with other students is it's not so much about believing that there's some sort of end goal for our lives or for the world where one day everything is wonderful. It's the purpose is actually the living your values day to day and showing up authentically, showing up with energy, showing up for what you care about, being willing to stand up for what you believe in. I think that journey, that pushing through and that fighting in a lot of ways, like, is the actual goal and is the actual purpose rather than getting to some and now everything's wonderful end point. And that keeps me going because that's all you can do, right? It's like show up each day and decide, like, how do I want to live my life and how do I want to be with the people in my community and how do I want to show up for them?
There you have it, folks. The 2025 NSPA Ann Radcliffe Award winner. I mean, obviously.
Thank you.
But more seriously, I couldn't agree more. And you said it so eloquently. Personally, I'm just so thrilled that you've stayed in the industry after, our early work together, that you've stayed at WWIN, and that you've committed to making such great change for the organization, but most importantly for the scholars that you serve. I'm thrilled for you. I'm so happy that you're recognized. I am so happy that we've had this long-term relationship, that we continue to be colleagues today. It's just a joy to me, and I'm so proud of you.
Thank you. That means a lot. I will always remember kind of stepping into my first real job and having such a great working relationship with you right from the beginning has, honestly made a huge difference for me and will always be such a a cherished memory. So thank you so much for having me today, and for everything that you set up in my career, in the WIN program, everything you do for NSPA, and now for all of your clients and the scholars. It's not surprising to me one bit that you've just gone bigger scale, and you're making these huge changes because, yeah, you're, the one with the vision and always were. So I'm very grateful for that about you.
Well, we could keep gushing on each other for a long time. I know.
Good.
But yeah, thanks for being with us today. Thanks for taking the time. I know you've got scholar meetings today. I know you've got lots of things on the horizon. So just a big thank you. And I'm sending you a hug through the computer.
Thank you, Erika. Thank you so much.
And a huge thanks to everyone else who's joined us today. It's always a joy to have you on board. Please remember to like and subscribe to Scholarship Station. It's your platform to explore the world of scholarships. We'll see you again soon.